bringing you the latest news from Liberty Athletics. This is the Patriot Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in to the High School Fan Zone on this Monday night, October 20th. October's flying by all of a sudden. It's a pretty big football game for Liberty in 10 days. I think it's, since Joe's not here, I can actually talk about it a little bit. I know Parker Hicks is an assistant football coach. I'm not going to make him talk about it. I don't want to get him in trouble, but Estacado guys that were in earlier were already they played Borger this week, so it's understandable. How'd the Borger game go this last week, Parker?
It's great for us.
Yeah. Oof. Not so good for Borger. That's a long way to come to get beat 65-3. I talked about last week's schedule, or this week's schedule. I didn't go through last week's scores. Let me do that real quick before we talk about Liberty basketball. That's why Parker Hicks is here with a couple of his seniors. You guys both seniors? I want to make sure. I have to make sure that we've gotten to the point where Parker can talk about seniors, which it's a new world at Liberty when you start talking about seniors. We have to get you at some point to talk about what the hallways are like if they're a little more crowded now, because you guys have everybody.
We have everybody, but campus is so big it still feels pretty empty. And
the thing is still getting built as we speak. And I found that out the hard way the other day trying to get to the gym to talk to Caitlin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good luck.
And this is old man stuff. When you guys get older and you get excited about roads you get to take, they shut down Quaker. Yeah. I said some words I'm not supposed to say when I found that out. So we'll come back and talk about last week's football because I want to talk to these guys about basketball. I've talked to Parker a little bit on my website, but I'm glad he has a couple of guys in who are Jaden Ellis and Tukey Johnson. Yes, two seniors. Tukey was a newcomer last year who made a huge splash. Jaden, have you been there since day one?
Yes, sir.
I thought you had. I remember seeing you as a sophomore.
Yes, sir.
These are the two varsity guys that Parker has to work with right now because all the other dudes are out with pads on. Have those guys, I know the other day when I was there, you were having kind of a basketball school session. Do those guys come over for that, or?
The football guys don't. Those guys were just straight basketball players. So we have JV and varsity kids in there. I have about 10, so enough to do some 5-on-5, but at the same time, not as enough as you need.
I'm going to guess if they're freshmen and sophomores, their eyes were pretty big when you're going through, because you're the one who planted this seed in my head. You and Caitlin, I guess maybe she was the other one. When you guys first opened the school, you had a bunch of kids who had never really had to look at video, had the game plan. They just showed up, played their games, and went home. And what video games do kids play these days?
So many different ones now.
Hold up close there.
So many different games now. I don't even know. Probably like college football or maybe still Fortnite. I don't know. I don't really play
Fortnite.
Fortnite? Is that still a thing?
That's what I play.
So, but you mentioned, I think you actually said Fortnite back then. You said guys were just used to coming home, going to practice, going home and playing video games instead of game planning. Those younger guys, that may be a little bit of a shock yet to come still.
For sure. And I think that's just part of maturing as an athlete, is understanding how important video is and how valuable it is at the same time.
And that dude knows a little bit about coaching.
Yes, sir.
I could probably get him to blush if I tried hard enough. You came last night. You came from a great program, Friendship, where I don't know how much Paul Page spends on video because he just gets you guys out there and makes you run until you're about ready to drop. What have you learned these last couple of years with Coach Parker about preparing, getting ready for games that's helped you kind of grow as a player?
I think it's really important because that was my first year on varsity and I was new to all of it. So I think he really helped me and he introduced me to all of it and it just installed it in me, and so now I really take pride in it.
Jaden, you've been there with him the whole time. When he first got a hold of you guys, I remember watching. I don't know if it was your first game. It had to have been after football ended that year too, or maybe not because your football season ended pretty abruptly that year with not having a varsity schedule. I remember thinking, that's an intense young coach. He's gonna pull some stuff out of these guys. I'm gonna guess he's still pretty intense.
Yes, sir, he is.
How has that helped you guys grow and develop, though, from being sophomores and freshmen to now where you are?
I think it's helped me understanding my role, on the team and stuff. and me like knowing I have to be a leader on the floor and be more vocal for our team.
The times I've seen you guys play, they won't know who Vinny Johnson is, will they?
No, probably not.
Go Google Vinny Johnson, the microwave, when you get a chance. Because you come off the bench and you make an impact like immediately. Now, I don't know if you're coming off the bench. I'm sure that remains to be seen. But when you have so many, because all you guys have been together, and then Tukey came, he joined you. So all you guys know each other really well by this point. How does that kind of built who you guys are as well?
I think it's just us coming together through the brotherhood and say again, we have everybody coming back this year, so it's not like, oh, this person has to do that, this person has to do this. Everybody knows what they need to do when they come back this year. So, yeah.
And when you get those football guys back, I'm going to guess practices get pretty competitive.
Yes, sir.
The evolution for you has been really cool because that first year there was a group of you, and then there were 4 guys back, and then you added Tukey.
Yeah.
So it wasn't quite a reset. It wasn't like you had to start over. But Parker, we talked about that. This is different now. We talked that night in Stanford about everybody coming back. What level of excitement have you seen from your guys? I'm going to get you to talk about this summer when we come back after the break, but just since the school year started, what level of excitement have you seen with your guys?
These guys especially, just you can tell they're, I guess, if itchiness is a word, but just
it's a good word.
Wanting to, kind of have that bad taste still linger around. And as a coach, it's great because you can, yes, we were 26-5, but it still never ended the way you want. So we always can hold that over our head. And I've told you before, that's our group chat picture is Glen Rose celebrating. So I think they're want to win and making themselves going to win here in a couple months is all coming back from what stemmed last year.
You got a different calendar than I do because you say a couple months.
Well, I know.
It's just creeping up on me awfully quick. So
end of October.
Now your football guys may make it a couple months too. That's going to bring us to the end of the first section. We'll be back right after this in the second segment of the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Liberty Athletics. You're listening to the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Patriot Fan Zone. We're talking Liberty basketball. Before we jump back in, though, I want to run through last week's football scores. We talked about it with the Estacado guys that were in earlier today. Estacado last Thursday beat Perryton 58-51. Perryton made a run at them. Estacado never really didn't have control of the game, but Perryton made them sweat there a little bit at the end. Friday night, let me go through here. Friendship lost at Midland Legacy 48-45. Coronado lost to Caprock 36-26. I said we wouldn't say that score again. Lubbock High got beat by Abilene High. It was a lot to not much. Tascosa beat Monterey 35-21. Paladuro beat Lubbock Cooper 36-33. The Liberty Patriots were not kind hosts for Borger, 65-3. How could you guys have scored 100 if you'd wanted to the other night?
I don't know. We didn't execute offensively like we wanted to, but
maybe that's why Joe palmed radio off on you this week.
Probably.
I'm just kidding, Joe. I told him I wanted to talk to somebody different. He said he was giving you guys the week off.
Somewhat.
So you get to spend time with the little Hicks, right?
A little bit. It's been all day at practices, but
did he go with you to?
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
I bet he'd enjoy that though.
If he could sit still for 2 seconds, he'd be all right.
Yes, I understand that.
I couldn't learn anything.
I've got a senior in high school now, so I understand that there's something about y'all have a lot more energy than I did growing up. I don't know if we worked too hard at practice or what, but you guys are full speed all the time. So I think that wraps. Oh, I don't want to forget Trinity Christian lost to Fort Worth All Saints, number 1 Fort Worth All Saints, 38-30. And Christ the King beat Kingdom Prep for the first time ever, 62-38. So that's last week's football. We already went through this week's schedule, so let's talk about basketball, which, as Parker knows, you don't have to twist my arm to do you don't have to twist it very hard. The reason we were talking about Kansas a minute ago, guys, is that's where I grew up. And in Kansas, there's high school football, and there's the Chiefs are there, and they've got college football. But if you're not talking or thinking about basketball from the time you're a little kid, then something's wrong, because basketball's kind of that's woven into your existence a little bit. So me and Parker talk a little bit about KU and Tech once in a while, and I think we can both agree that it's kind of a standoff right now. Fair enough?
You're right.
It's
a good thing for
two
the Red
really
Raiders.
good programs. Yes, it's very good for the Red Raiders. And Liberty's boys are very good for their school, because you guys, Caitlin Anderson set the bar that first year with what she did, and then the baseball boys followed that up. You guys jumped right in there last year, Parker. 26-5. Those 5 losses were 3 to Estacado, which was a state semifinalist team. New Home, which I forgot to look.
Regional finals, I think.
It's Kobe Abney, who friendship graduate actually.
Yep.
And then the fifth one was
El Paso Chapin,
and then of course the last one to Glen Rose in the by-district round of the playoffs. You guys grab that microphone. When you look back, 26-5, 26 was it?
6.
26-6 at the end. Tukey, when you transferred in and knew that you were going to jump in to that program, did you have any idea you guys could do what you did last year?
I mean, with the mindset I have, I went into it, trying to set the standard. So, I mean, I always had that hope and wanted to be the change and, just set the standard, because we're the first seniors. So I always went into it with that mindset.
And Jaden, he did. Coach has talked a lot about what Tukey brought, and he brought energy, but he also brought a work ethic. Not that you guys didn't have a work ethic, but you're the new guy. You got to work maybe harder than anybody else, because you guys all knew each other.
Yes,
what
sir.
did he bring to the table?
I feel like you said, he set the standard, and he felt like he brought leadership too, having everybody catch on to what he was doing, and that's what really brought our team kind of together.
Because you guys are everybody else kind of knew each other. Sometimes it's a little bit hard for that group for somebody to kind of emerge as a leader, and having somebody that's willing to do that can be a big thing. Same question for you. You guys had a decent first season. You got to the play-in for a playoff game.
Yes, sir.
How important was that off season between that and what you guys did last year?
It was really important. I feel like we all knew what we wanted. We just had to work way more harder than what we did with the year before to get what we wanted.
And that's kind of a segue, because when we come back, we're going to talk about this off season and some pretty incredible things you guys accomplished. So 26-6 in year 2 of varsity basketball. Year 3's coming up. We'll talk more about that when we come back after this break in the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Liberty sports. This is the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. We have one more segment of the Patriot Fan Zone. Talking to Parker Hicks, a third-year coach, 4th year overall, 3rd year at Liberty. Jaden Ellis and Tukey Johnson, 2 of his seniors. Got a lot of seniors, which this may be exactly what Coach said to you that night in Stanford. When we were talking afterwards, he said that when he looked around at you guys, the thing that hit him is all these guys are going to be back. We get to do this again. Tukey, and then that losing sucks anytime, but especially the way you guys lost. But did that kind of sink in pretty quick to you that, yeah, we lost, but now we get to come back with everybody and try this again?
For me, I don't think it hit immediately. I really just wanted to win the game and then maybe think about next year. But I think after, everybody's emotions went down, we all talked about it, and, we have the same guys, so let's just go do it again next year.
Jaden, you're coming up on year 3 doing that, which it's a little bit different being a senior. It's the first time you guys, coaches, felt it with his first level land team, and then when he played. Is it different? How different does it feel being a senior now?
Just, you want to go play every game like it's your last, honestly. I mean, that's been the mindset, play every game like it's your last, but I feel like I'm attacking it way more harder than I was last year, and that's everybody.
I'm going to guess that there's a lot of that going on. Parker, we've talked about your summer. What did you guys do this summer? What did you want these guys to do this summer to get them ready for this?
Yeah, I wanted to challenge them, first of all, just because, knowing we were going to be good, we needed to put in situations that's going to make us better. So we did the Friendship Summer League, and that's good for us because it's easy and local. And then we traveled up to Kansas team camp and saw some good talent there, and then went to the TABC Showcase. And what we thought opened a lot of people's eyes, but still we're under the radar, and
Yes,
that's
you are.
exactly how we want it. So that just gives us more ammo to the fire, to the fuel, and before long we'll be kicking it off. But just kind of going back on, you mentioned returning everybody. Essentially it was a 2-year deal for us. We had the same team for 2 years in a row, and we didn't get to do that first year. So as long as we're our best by February and March of this year, then that Glen Rose Roth loss will be well worth it, I think.
And sometimes you can take a lot from something like that. Who did you beat at the TABC?
We beat Burke Burnett. I believe it was overtime, wasn't it? Which
It was overtime.
they're really good. 4A is supposed to be really good. And then we beat Booker T. Washington by about 30. And they lost to Dallas Kimball in the state championship. And then we beat Fort Bend Crawford, who lost to Kimball in the regional finals. So they gave us 3 really good opponents, and we went and actually played really well that weekend. And so I think that gave us a little bit of confidence, but still not enough to where we think we've got it done. So
I'm going to refer to Tukey's previous coach at Friendship, Paul Page, and I didn't think about this until he told me that. Said this to me. For basketball teams, especially when you are sharing players with football, that summer, what you do in that summer is kind of your preseason, because
Right.
you don't get to lead up to it, especially when, like you guys have. How many varsity guys playing football?
the rest, 8, 7.
So you don't really get to coach those guys as much as you want to coach them until you get them back. So doing that in the summer is a pretty strong.
That's huge. Then I think returning everybody is huge too, because
Yep.
we're not going to have to teach new guys. Like Jaden mentioned earlier, guys are going to come in knowing what the expectation is, knowing what their job is, and so there's not going to be a lot of changes as far as the technical part of it. But still areas to improve on. But it helps me sleep at night knowing that these guys have been there and done it before, and they know what's coming whenever that time comes.
See, it sounds like Coach is just going to roll the ball out once you guys run practice. Sound about right?
They should.
These are 2 key questions here. Did you take these guys to a place called Minsky's Pizza when you were in Lawrence, Kansas?
I don't think we went there. We went to a barbecue place.
Well, that's not hard to find.
No. No, we didn't go.
All right, we got to
Big
take them
Biscuit.
next time.
The Big Biscuit.
Biscuit.
That place is the
Yeah.
best breakfast place
Yes,
I've ever had.
there's one of those in my hometown, which is down the road, so I'll vouch for that. Second question is, does Coach still get in there and mix it up in practice with you guys?
He tries to. He tries to.
Tell them what happened last week.
I mean, doing it and trying is 2 different
Okay.
things. But he'll attempt to, but we won't let him.
Is he a better shooter, or is he get physical inside?
No, he don't get physical. That's not
Yeah, that's not really him.
That's not him. That's not his game.
He'll try to just stay outside.
Because we've
Protect
talked
the
about
knees.
this. You could put together a really good, I don't know what you'd call it, a YMCA team of the boys' high school coaches in Lubbock, Texas.
We'd be the best in the state.
A Paige, you'd probably have to coach now because you need to stay calm. Otherwise, I'd say you could play. But start talking about Will Flemons, and now Brodney Kennard at All Saints. There's got to go. Now, Coach could play. You guys have, I know you were half joking there because
Yes,
you've
sir.
seen him play,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Was it 2 summers ago? What was
The Air Raiders, the TBT.
Did you score 50 in one of those games too, or is that just
not
high
in
school?
that, just college.
He scored 50 points in a high school game. You think he'd let one of you guys shoot that much?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
We'll talk about that the next time we have these guys on. That wraps us up in the Patriot Fan Zone. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score.